Thank you so very much for being back. If you just joined us, it's still Enterprise the Weekend, reaching you from Enterprise Television. Let's get to our conversation for today. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and some governors in the country have condemned the gruesome murder of 16 travelers by an irate mob in Uromi, Edo State, Nigeria. While the president ordered a manhunt for the killers, the governor joined in demanding justice for the victims. In what was concluded as a mistaken identity, the victims who claimed to be hunters while traveling in a Dangote cement truck when they were accosted around 1:30 p.m. in Odune community by local security. Upon searching their vehicle, then guns were reportedly discovered, which triggered the mob attack. In the 29-second clip video, which is disturbing, with viewers' discretion advised, the travelers could be heard wailing and pleading for their lives as the crowd beat them to a stupor and set them ablaze. Whilst shockingly, some residents went about their activities seemingly unbothered by the brutal scene unfolding before them. Some residents who asked not to be identified due to sensitivity of the matter criticized the police for arriving late at the scene. And a particular person said this, and I love to quote him: "If the police had arrived early enough, this tragedy could have been prevented. But by the time they arrived, only 4 people could be saved, and they were rushed to a hospital," he stated. I still have with me Emeka Madunagu. Thank you so very much, Emeka, for being here.
Thank you very much.
All right. So I would love to start by asking, how bad is kidnapping for ransom in Edo State and Nigeria? It's a terrain that you are very conversant with. So let's just start from there. Then we can increase to other sensitive matters concerning the mob attack.
Thank you very much for the question. Yes, I'm very conversant with Edo State. Kidnapping has become a big problem in Edo State. Just 2 weeks ago, some friends of mine were traveling to the east for a traditional engagement ceremony. And they were stopped by a crowd, at Ugoneki. Ugoneki is just outside Benin. They were stopped, and they and other travelers, they were protesting. They said that herdsmen had made it impossible for them to go to the farms. They alleged that herdsmen were raping their women, killing their men. They blocked the road. So, my friend sent me the video clip, which I forwarded to some media houses, said they should follow it up. So, under the former governor, Godwin Obaseki, the Edo State vigilante, they were able to really do a lot, working with other security agencies to keep the kidnapping problem, to bring it down. Now, what did we see when the new governor came, Monday Okpebolo? He refused to continue with the template set by Godwin Obaseki. And so people had been crying. You can even, if you remember, was it, a member of National Assembly, the senator raised the issue about kidnapping in his constituency. Some senators from Edo State, members of reps, from House of Reps from Edo State, also raised the issue where this unfortunate incident took place. It was about, this same issue, of, kidnapping, allegedly by herdsmen. And it's had, some bloody consequences, because the people, and the herdsmen, I think, there was killing on both sides. I think it also affected the police. I think a police station was burnt or so. I don't remember, too well. But at the end of the day, it was a sad story. I think the police should have been more proactive on that axis. There was a time, Benin Ekpoma Auchi Road was so dangerous. Sometimes travelers will have to stop at some point because they were warned that kidnappers are operating in front. They're operating in front. And all of these things was the reason why the former governor did all he could to put down these incidents. I wish the current governor had continued with this. These things wouldn't have happened. These things wouldn't have happened. Now, the police, the people are saying the police didn't arrive on time. You see, yes, I think the police should be more, like I said, they should be proactive. But again, when you look at it, how well equipped our security agencies to handle multiple emergencies. We can clearly see that what about staffing, vehicles, equipment, and all of that? So it's sad that this kind of thing happened because they were said to have been stopped, by vigilante of the town, and guns were seen. Some are saying it was Dane guns, some are saying it was AK-47, but the general narrative from the government is that they were Dane guns, and that these people were the unfortunate victims were hunters who were going, back home from Port Harcourt to Kano for the Salah holidays. I think, you see, it is sad that people have lost faith in the justice system in Nigeria.
So when you talk about, Emeka, when you talk about people have lost hope in the justice system, how would you say that? Any involvement with the justice system and what just happened here?
Yes, I'm talking about the security agencies.
Okay.
I mean, where people intercepted such a truck, you normally expect that they will be handed over to the police. That such people will be handed over to the police. But what we hear people say, the ones that were handed over in the past, what happened? The police just released them like that. We have a huge trust problem in us. Trust the justice system. And so you find people taking the laws into their hands. And it's worrisome. We've been talking about, we've not been talking about extrajudicial killings in different parts of the country. Some on the basis of, clashes, communal clashes, religious clashes, and clashes over land and all of that. And people have been killed. What has happened? Have the perpetrators been brought to book? The answer is no. And when you allow people to get away with such things, what you're doing is that you're encouraging more people to do the same and get away with it.
But the question I'd love to ask is this.
Look at in Plateau State. Sometime last year, was it early this year? Yes, early this year. 20 farmers were killed and their corpses were dumped inside the river. Where are the perpetrators? Have they been found? Look at things that have been happening. Some days ago, an army base in Borno State was overrun by insurgents. What has happened? And you just go on and on and on and on and on, when will we, you see, the leaders, our security agencies must realize that they have to live up to the responsibility, of implementing the rule of law. Because people have the inclination to take the laws into their hands. There's a regular inclination. Even when there are voices of reason that say, no. Take these people to the police. In some cases, they'll be attacked. Wasn't there a video of a girl? Where was it you are doing? It's not right. They attacked her. They beat her up. So you just find out that the security agencies, understand that, they have challenges, but they need to find a way to be able to, handle the unfortunate security situation, challenges here and there. It's sad.
Very, very
the killings of all these people, it's wrong.
Yeah.
But, you see, let me tell you, in every society, there's inclination for people to get into criminal acts. It's not about morality. Why are people doing this now? No. there are countries where if you misplace your phone, you will come back and you will find it. Somebody on Facebook was talking the other day. It was talking the other day about how she misplaced her phone in an airport in a West African country, and when she went back to her seat, she saw a cleaner coming out of a room. She now asked her, "Did you see my phone?" The cleaner said, "I didn't see any phone," not knowing that there is something called Siri. I think it's a software also.
Yeah.
And she now said, "Siri, play music." She had, I mean, the phone could recognize her voice. That software could recognize her voice. And then the Siri started playing music from the phone, which was in the back pocket of that cleaner. And then she just stretched out her hand. The cleaner quietly handed over the phone and she went away. So in some countries of the world, people will not do it. They will not do it. Like in the United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, people will dare not. They will not dare to steal your property. But in some other countries, even countries you think that are developed, people will rob you in broad daylight. We'll hear of, stabbings and all of that. They will rob in broad daylight. They will rob shops, jewelry shops and all of that. So that is why the security agencies must be up and doing. And that is why you also need citizen engagement in security management, because the security agencies cannot be everywhere. And that is why state governors should have, well-organized vigilante, corps, so that they can help to bridge the gaps in these security challenges. So I believe that the best thing is to revive the Edo State vigilante, train them properly, deploy them in areas of conflict or tension, areas where there are security threats, black spots, so that they can be in, just like you find the Anambra vigilante, the Agunech chamber, you find the civilian JTF, they work with the organized security agencies. And so, it's easy to at least take immediate action when there are any security challenges. Of course, the government has said that, the president has said that the perpetrators should be found. But, I mean, it's a natural course of justice now. It's a natural course of things that perpetrators should be found and prosecuted. But it is also important that perpetrators of other such similar acts of extrajudicial killings should be found in different parts of the country. They should be arrested. They should be prosecuted. When you do such things, when you don't allow people to take lives and get away with it, people will have trust in the justice system. And you know what? People will be deterred from engaging in such dastardly acts. It is unfortunate.
Very, very
unfortunate. It's unfortunate.
Yes, so very unfortunate.
And I tell you,
yes,
if the government does not really do something about this, they will continue to happen. It's sad. I told you about farmers. Was it not February 2 or so? 2025. Farmers, 20 farmers killed and their bodies dumped in the river. Nothing happened. People have been raiding villages, in different parts, in Enugu State, in Ebonyi State, in Plateau State, in Benue, killing farmers in Taraba. What has happened? What has happened?
What has happened? Yes,
We've
sorry
had,
for interjecting, Emeka. I wanted
happened?
to ask. Yes, I wanted to ask, because you talked about revamping the vigilante in Edo State, but of course, the sighting of this hunters, alleged hunters, because one would wonder what exactly were they doing with guns. The last time I researched, you need licenses. Even if you are a hunter, you need licenses to show that you are a hunter, which of course they do not have. But my question is, what do you think would happen to the morale of vigilantes in Edo State, knowing their contribution to ensuring community security in different parts of Edo State? Because I believe that a majority of those that would be arrested for this crime are vigilante. So what would happen to the morale of these people, and would this maybe exacerbate the problem of insecurity in that community and other communities of Edo State?
Well, I think that the police, the security agencies, they know what to do. They should arrest those, behind this. And not just this, like I said, other people who have been involved in such acts should be arrested and prosecuted. Because what we just find out that people are arrested, and at the end of the day, other things take over and you don't hear anything about it anymore. You don't hear anything about the matter anymore. That doesn't encourage trust in the justice system. So, what I'm saying in essence is that beyond just relying on security agencies, the Edo State government should do something about the vigilante group. Reinvigorate the vigilante group, reorganize it, and put them to work in areas where the security agencies cannot cope, where they cannot, cope. So, let there be a synergy. And then where you have, it is very, very important for us to also, as citizens, do our best to trust the justice system. I know there have been lapses, but when, we keep taking the laws to our hands, what we are doing is that we are casting ourselves, in very negative lights. We cannot continue to do the same things the same way. I even see that some people on social media have been trying to take advantage of the situation, to cause problems between, certain ethnic groups, going on social media. Such people should be tracked down and arrested. Somebody saying that, posting that, somewhere at a place, in the northern state should be attacked. Why? 16 people already, have already lost their lives. And then you just sit in one place and be instigating further violence against people going about their, normal businesses. Why? And such people, nothing happens to them. No. The security agencies must not just go after bloggers, not just bloggers, people who post some of those incendiary comments on social media should also be tracked and prosecuted. It's very, very important, because this is the only nation, this is the only country we have, Nigeria. If through, acts of extremism we destroy this country, where will we go to? We've seen the, communal crisis in a part of Osun State, seeing how people are running away, fleeing. We've seen people fleeing in Ondo State. We've seen videos of people fleeing in Ondo State, because of incessant attacks, kidnapping, and all of that. Do we want a nation to become a war-torn country where, people will be uprooted from their homesteads? God forbid. We must say no to all of this. It's reprehensible. The attack is reprehensible. Those responsible should be brought to book. But again,
yes,
it should not be a selective, it should not be selective acts by government. Let it go round. Let it go round. So that there will be confidence. You inspire confidence in the justice system. So that people don't just say what will happen. nothing will happen. You hear people say it, I will waste you and nothing will happen. And they get away with these things because there's no fear of consequences. Are there usually consequences? Many a time there are no consequences. So I think we need to get to the bottom of it. I saw the video of the Commissioner of Police for Edo State where he met with the I think the Northern community, and was, commiserating with them and promising them that justice will be done. All of that. It's also a good thing that the governor of Edo State has been there, But let us not, Nigerian politicians should also not politicize this matter. This should not be an avenue to play dirty politics, inflaming passions. This should not be an avenue for it. I've seen some writers on social media, somebody saying that, a writer, somebody writing from the United States, that Edo State doesn't have a history of, tension with the North. And I asked him, so which part of Nigeria has a history of tension with the North? I said, aren't you ashamed? Lives have been lost. And you are here playing dirty politics. And is there no limit to certain odious tendencies? So don't you fear God? You're not even bothered about the families that have lost their loved ones and all of that. You're more interested in who has had a history of tensions. I think these are the things that inflame passions and, make Nigerians set at each other from time to time. Some days ago, a realtor was kidnapped and killed in Asaba, Delta State. And look at here and there, all of these reports. What is being done about them? What is being done about them? Why are people not being brought to book? Please, human life is sacred. We must do all we can to protect the sanctity of human life in Nigeria. Thank you.
Very, very true. We must do all we can to protect the sanctity of lives in Nigeria. You can only hear such gory sort of stories in some South American countries where you have drug cartels, doing what they know how to do best. But it's so very unfortunate that in Nigeria, we have similar issues, and it is boiled on the fact that our leaders have blatantly refused to do the needful. They rather would love to play politics than good governance, which of course is fueling some of the things that we have today in the country. Look at the likes of Nayib Bukele, that is the president of El Salvador. He came into a country that was like ours and totally sanitized the country because it was intentional. I just hope and believe that we would come to a place where we have leaders like Bukele who are very honest about truly doing the needful rather than playing politics with everything and all things. Thank you so very much, Emeka, for being here. We truly do appreciate you.
Thank you very much.
All right, so that's just about the time we have for this weekend. We'd love to say thank you to you for making this picture complete. Please do well to visit us. If you may, you can re-watch this when you see us at Enterprise TV 7, and also you can read more when you visit us at enterprisetvnews.com. My name is Henry Igwebike. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you. Bye-bye.
Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.